folks, this is what we're going to do. I've been noticing that folks really don't know how to help people get up. They're always asking me how to heal themselves and every other thing. We're sitting in here, in the warden cop over here. I'm going to run up inside the building for a minute, and then I'm going to go over how all the little goodies that we do to heal ourselves for everybody, and a suggested loadout maybe for folks. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But right here, here's an example. We got some balling on the tabletop. So let's go back to this to see why we want what we want to do with the balling. Here we have on my screen, we're looking at this area right here. And what we have is I've got it laid out fairly well. I'm going to show you where to put stuff in your inventory to make sure it works for you. And the first thing is we're going to cover is the vendors. Lab Rat, when you're level 1, don't give you much. And to set up your character with Lab Rat as a Bambi, you need to use using these materials, which is all she gives you. These E-bars are pretty good. They will give you 14 energy with no drainage on hydro, and this gives you 22 hydration. This will get you started, but it ain't the best thing in the world. What you're going to do is you're going to want to go out and find loot out there and pick up their certain things. Now, those items that you want to pick up are going to be this, like this Berg bar, chocolate cookie bar. It does a 24 replenishment for your energy. The eye drink, the Infinity Isotonic, the Nuclear Energy Meltdown Mango is 36 plus 5. The Isotonic is a 27 plus 5. And then this Dark Star Coffee is 32 and plus 5. These will be your these are the best standbys you can find. Now you can get iced tea. This will bring 27 back 3 times, which is a pretty good amount of stuff. It's about 81, right? So that'll get your stuff too back. Water, some of the water bottles give you 100%, 99%. Some will give you 66. But in general, you want to keep your hydration up, this down here, and you want to keep your energy up. Energy is not so hard to keep up. The hydration will be a real problem. And what will happen is you'll need to take like one of these, a bar like this, about once every time for every 4 or 5 drinks you take in the game. Just keep that in mind when you're getting ready to play and how you're doing this here. But we don't want you to be a drain on your buddies. So here's what you want to do first. You want to take a little surgical kit, stick it in your tactical belt. You want to take a combat tourniquet and put it over here. And you're going to be using these cheesy bandages, so you want to use one of those. Combat tourniquet wouldn't be what you use. You use just a regular tourniquet. And put a splint over here. And you got a bandage, splint, tourniquet. And the last thing you're going to want to do is maybe put some balling in here. Now, what happens now is you can patch yourself up with a surgical kit. You can cover your wounds. You can repair your broken bones, and you can stop the bleeding. This helps stop the pain. This is your basic Bambi setup. You want these in these particular item slots, and the reason being is anything with a lightning bolt on it, you can access while you're trying to heal somebody. You can also access it without having to go into your inventory, because you can use the hotbar to get to it. Now, the point being is this is Bambi setup. Okay, so we're going to pull this out, and I'm going to go over each one of these items and how they affect you in the game and how to make them work for you. And we're going to get the splint out, and the eyeballing goes here. Now, we're going to go over here and look at this. We have a splint, 2 splints. The first splint, this one right here, the Bambi splint right here, it's got 2 charges, and it works really well. It'll heal 1 broken bone each charge. Same with this splint, but it's double the charges, and you get 4 charges. It's a great thing to have. Now, in your inventory, always in one of your pockets, or in your tactical belt, or in your rig, in your carrier rig, or your carrier tack rig, you want to have a tourniquet so that you can access it if you're running and stop your bleeding. This is the most important thing in healing that I can emphasize. You have to stop the bleeding. When you get shot, and you will get shot, if you do not get domed and die immediately, You have to stop the bleeding. You will get a blood thing at the top of your screen that shows 1, 2, or 3 drops of blood. It'll be yellow or red. If it's red and it's 3 drops, you are in trouble, and you better get a tourniquet on yesterday. If you make it in time and don't go in a coma, then you will not go into a coma. Your blood loss will stop, and you'll be able to heal yourself. I strongly recommend backing up away from the enemy, facing the enemy, so that your armor does its job, and activating the combat tourniquet or one of these tourniquets in order to stop your bleeding. That's how we do it. Now, the combat tourniquet's 4 charges. This tourniquet gives you 2 charges, and it works really well, and it's pretty fast. This one's 1 charge per use, and it's a little slow, but it does the job, and that's what you need. Now, moving on, we have 3 different levels of bandages. The gauze bandage is 2 charges, it heals 2 wounds. The other bandage is 3 charges, and it heals 3 wounds. And of course, the SEAL bandage does 4 wounds and heals 4 charges. These are the best. You won't get those until you get lab rat to level 4. But you'll have access to these at level 2, I believe it is. At level 1, you get the gauze. Now, the surgical kits, you're going to find these all over the map. They're good to have, and I don't know if the expense of picking up the level 5 one is worth it. Sometimes they're worth having. They give you an extra charge. It's 5 instead of 3, which is a good thing. But at the same time, folks, you need that surgical kit. And you need that surgical kit in your belt, like I was showing you. Because when you have to use it, you need to be able to use it. It's not one of them kind of things where you got to wait around or try and dig it into your inventory and find it. Next thing, these are painkillers: Paracet, Malox, and Ibalin. Ibalin is the basic painkiller you find. It lasts for about 2.5 minutes, 33% painkiller, but it has a side effect in that it will make your blood thin. So if you get shot within the 2.5 minutes after you've been using Ibalin, your blood's going to bleed out faster. So your blood rate, instead of being a 1 drop, it'll be a 2. Instead of a 2, be a 3. If it's 3, it might just kill you. So keep that in mind when you do it. Melox is another painkiller. It's a little better, same efficacy as the Ibalin, but it lasts twice as long, and it doesn't drain your blood. It doesn't thin your blood. Paracet is the do-all, end-all of the painkillers. This one doesn't do anything bad to you, and it basically cuts the pain. And it's strongly recommended, like if you get hit, to do a combat tourniquet and then hit a Paracet or a Melox or something. And what that does is it stops you from sitting there moaning and groaning and crying and whining and whatever because you're hurt. And it stops the pain, so you stop groaning. Now you get 2 types of blood bags. You get the small blood bag and you get the big blood bag. Difference being is the big blood bag gives you 3 charges and you get like 1,500 blood. This one only gives you 500 blood. So carry them as you wish. You may or may not be able to acquire them. It takes a little while for the vendors to get them up. Moxiflox and charcoal. Charcoal is the intoxication reducer. It also helps you get over your sore stomachs and stuff like that you're going to find. Moxiflox does it 2.5 times better. It's a 25 instead of a 10. And then we have these 2 specialties: methylene, methylphenidate. This is a speed, and when you take this, it causes your stamina to regenerate faster. So, and it will stack. You can take 5. You can do it 5 times. It stacks up to 5. So what happens is that you can take that 5 times, and your generation or stamina will just start to go out the roof. But it's still, when it dies off, boy, you are hurting. So, but this stuff is the Chi. This is potassium iodide. It reduces radiation at 4 per charge. So there's a couple of radiation spots in the map that you're going to run into, and you're going to need this Chi. They're very rare at this point. The center of the map's supposed to have a whole bunch more. So this will probably be an end game thing that you need. Now, there's 3 syringes that are supposed to help you heal. EPO is the blood bag one, and it gives you blood production. Lasts for 3 minutes and it's supposed to work. HPR3, I've seen people actually hit themselves with one of these, get shot, and actually not have to have somebody raise them up because it healed them up enough to get them back on their feet where they can heal themselves. It's not a guarantee that it's going to happen, and it ain't guaranteed you're going to be able to fire it off. These things are expensive, and you don't get them until you get lab rats up to higher levels. Or E12, this is a bone replacer. It will replace 1 bone perfectly every time you fire it off. But the results of all of these is you end up needing to do charcoal or moxiflox for intoxication problems. So there's a drawback with this. Now, I've also drawn, there's HC kits. These are little kits. They hold 2 items, similar to the MFAC. That's another item. Now, there's 2 ways I load my MFACs up normally. And what I do is I normally put a surgical kit in one, or I'll put a blood bag in one. And that's where I put the MFAC, and I put it right here. Okay, that's where I put them. But and I can do that with this kit as well. I can put the surgical kit in one of those, do the same thing. But that's not what we're going to do today. Now this QR bag, I usually put 3 blood bags in like so. And then that, because I have the 9-slot box, goes down here into my TAS box. Reason being is I've got 9 blood bags, and they're protected. I won't lose them ever, more than likely. And then I have other openings here. Like this tactical belt could take a bag, and there's this big square box. So what I will do, I'm at level, I've got all my vendors at 4. I will put blood bags in the EMT bag, 2 combat tourniquets, S bandages. I'm showing you what I'm loading. Splints, methyl, moxiflox, potassium iodide, Paracet, and a surgical kit. And that will go right here. And then I take either one of these 2 loadouts. I tend to take this one because it's got 2-methyl in it. And then we come to strychnine. Strychnine is an interesting stimulant. If you stab yourself with one of these, you do not lose any stamina for a minute. You can run like a racehorse. You can run across the map as fast as you want to. You will not lose your stamina. But when it starts dropping off, it's time to slow down very quickly and start looking to take some charcoal or something like that. Or you can just sit there and tough it out. And that usually I put right in here. And that's where I set my medical up. And I'm not a liability to my team. This also is another loadout, is to put the QR kit, to put these items in it. And again, if you'll notice, every one of these times we set these loadouts up, this loadout has everything, so I can heal. It's in the lightning bolt. This is in a lightning bolt. This isn't, because I'm not going to access it here. I'll access this blood bag when I'm down and hit the I button in order to access my health. The blood is not as critical as getting your healing done, and the healing is far more important. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I mean, the vendors, Lab Rat. As you progress, you get better stuff. Level 2 brings on the MFACs, so you can buy those. You get the better bandages. You start getting some other equipment that's nice. You get this Melox, which is the mother painkiller. Now you have access to Pate and GE drinks. These are both very good for hydration, so solve solutions. 3, now you get the QR kit and you get this beautiful med case that you can put in your inventory. And if you'll notice, more things are added. Now they have MFAT, they got combat tourniquets available now, got the surgical kit, and here they start offering the Ori, which is for your splint, replaces a splint. But again, notice you only have 3 kinds of tourniquets. This is it's limited, but it keeps you right where you got to go. Now, and then level 4, you get everything. They add more of the HPRs. They finish adding the Melox and the Ibalin and the Paracets here. Paracet, and this here's the moxiflox. The moxiflox is your counterpart to your charcoal. And then you have these 2 surgical kits available. You're good to go. And you do now have access to seal bandages. But the biggest thing they added was this right here, the CRP. This is 65. So you can literally carry one of these and wait till you get really, really hungry and then just eat it. And it'll bring you right back up to 100 and you're good to go. Gray Zone drink, plus 15 and plus 50. So you're getting your energy and you're getting your hydration back. This is about 99% hydration with 3 charges. And this one runs you 66% hydration with 2 charges. So, again, back to the battlefield. Now we're, again, just kind of an overview. You want to make sure you have your medical stuff set up ahead of time. Now, the other thing is when you have all this in here, I got to put it back. I messed up. And we're going to stick it all back in there, and we're going to go back up here to back. We're going to hit H at the top of the screen, and the medical comes down. And what you want to do is you can scroll down here and see all these things are available immediately. I can roll down this little thing, and I can hit H, and any one of these will start working, or F rather. And any one of these will start working. Also, if you leave it on it, like this here, combat tourniquet, and go ahead and scroll back with double click. If you hit H, it starts to apply it. Right click stops it, and you don't lose the charge. That is about as best I can do to help you folks. But you don't want to be a liability to your crew members, your team members, and the best way to do that, learn what this video has to offer. I'm sure that once you've watched it, you'll find enough information to get you to where you ain't hurting your team no more. So have a great day, enjoy, and I'll see y'all on the battlefield.